I'm going to tell my story, my family's story, and talk about that in the context of the American dream story, and then lay out the clear choice that we have in this election between a candidate who believes in investing in opportunity and another that I think would take us backward.
You may not know his face now, but Democrats are hoping that you will after he gives tonight's keynote address to the DNC. That is Julian Castro, the well-liked mayor of San Antonio, Texas. He'll be introduced by Joaquin Castro, his brother, who, oh, by the way, happens to be a candidate for Congress in that very district representing San Antonio, Texas. The keynote address is a big deal. We focused a lot on it last week with Governor Chris Christie in New Jersey. Many a political career has been catapulted or at least, boosted by that desirable speaking spot. Mario Cuomo did it in 1984. He was a potential candidate for president in the next 3 elections after that. We heard from Ann Richards in 1988. She went on to become governor of Texas, last Democrat elected to statewide office there. And some guy named Barack Obama gave that speech in 2004. Now, aside from helping Castro's career, the selection certainly indicates the Democrats' desire to reach out to Latino voters. That is a demographic that has remained steadily in Obama's column as we have gone through this election. And there you see the latest numbers. It's 64 to 30% spread in the Latino vote. And before I focus in on the Latino vote itself, does that play beyond the Latino vote? When we talk about groups like women or Latinos or African-American voters, is that also saying to other members of other voting groups, hey, we're an inclusive party, we're the party of we, not of us, and come join us?
No, you mean you have to go back and tell everybody else that you love them too. I love my daughter does not necessarily translate into I love my other daughter.
Right.
So you tell them both, and I think they will tell everybody. I don't think there's any doubt about that.
This is going to be a convention that has to be more than about great speeches. We all know President Obama gives wonderful speeches. He's a great orator. He's got to be a politician. He's been a policy wonk, but I don't think he's been an effective politician. He's going to have to convince people that he's going to be a politician if they elect him for 4 more years.
I think there's. I think I agree with what I think you meant.
That's sort of maybe
could you explain to me what I just said?
I think I don't know if you meant politician. I think he's going to have to explain to people why he will be able to effectively lead.
Exactly. That's what I meant.
And you see, I knew what you meant.
I just didn't want to be so verbose.
There's a lot of harmony at this table
but
right
it
now.
does send an inclusive message that if you're reaching out to, in this case, Latinos, that it's a message about inclusion, about Big Tent, about everyone. And that's historically been a plus for Democrats and quite a negative for Republicans.
And does this come with a potential downside that with so much focus on the Latino vote, with so much focus on issues like immigration, that other groups or other voters may feel put out?
They're going to have to go out and find ways to reach out to constituencies. It is when you start to slice and dice the electorate, you can't leave anybody out, even if you do it through direct mail and ethnic media and the rest of that stuff. But it is not enough to say I love them and therefore assume I love you.
There may be this group known as the middle class that feel they're going to be ignored if they focus too much on the Latino.
Once again, I'll bring it back to something that you've never heard of, that drinking game. If you take a drink during this convention, for every time they mention the middle class, you're going to be on your floor.
That's why I mentioned it, because we've got the shots of Stoli lined up in the green room.
I think
And a new sponsor.
Where will you be later tonight? Because I think your viewers might want to take a really good look at this.
I'm so glad you mentioned that. We're going to be live on the air from 10 o'clock. Here on RNN as well as on Fios 1. I'll be joining Megan Vega.
Well, count me in as a viewer.
I cannot play that game tonight.
Andrew, you're losing a draw.
But I'll certainly be watching Julian Castro and Michelle Obama speaking in the 10 o'clock hour, and of course a full wrap and a live report from Richard French coming up as soon as Mrs. Obama finishes speaking. We are going to take a quick break, not for refreshments, but for commercial purposes. When we come back, same-sex marriage. A big part of the discussion at the DNC today. We're going to explain why when we return. Stay with us.